Hey, what's going on? Leroy from NoiseGate. Today, super exciting day for us. We get to show you a brand new Maschine Plus from Native Instruments. Maschine Plus is a completely standalone machine, which means it doesn't require a laptop or a computer to run the sound samples and effects that it comes bundled with. It's all pre-installed inside the box. There's been stacks of talk on the internet about whether or not Native Instruments would actually make a standalone machine, and now they've finally done it. So let's bust it open and check it out. All right, cool. So before I turn it on, let's just have a squeeze at the hardware. We've got this really nice sort of robust steel faceplate, which is a pretty major upgrade from the Mark III. And as you can see, it looks pretty familiar to the Mark III, Maschine Mark III. We've got a nice steel encoders here as well, and a steel multi-directional encoder. Feels really nice. Pads feel nice and squishy, just the way I like it. Touch strip's good. Cool. On the side here, included 64 gigabyte SD card, it comes included. And on the back, let's have a squeeze. So this is the audio interface that comes included as well. We have a stereo line out, stereo line input, headphones with independent gain control, MIDI in, MIDI out, expression, pedal foot switch, and we also have an included USB port. This is really good because we can plug in a keyboard like an M32 to sort of expand your setup a little bit. Plus also you're able to connect a complete Audio 6 audio interface if you wanted to expand the audio inputs and the audio outputs. So if you wanted to take advantage of a phantom power microphone, you can use an audio interface and use it for that. Cool, let's fire it up and see how it sounds. Right, so anyone who's not familiar with making music with machine hardware, just give you a quick overview of kind of what everything does. Very quickly, this is our transport section here. You can play all your sequences, record and overdub. This is our group section. So we have 8 available groups, and each group has 16 pads or 16 sounds allocated to each group, and you can toggle between each group here and fill them up with sounds as you go. So an enormous amount of sounds available to you at any one time. Touch strip here does a few things. It works as a pitch bend, also a mod wheel for modulating melodic instruments. It's almost a performance effect. We can assign multiple different types of effects to use in your performance setting, and you can also use it to cycle between different notes as you touch the strip as well. It's really fun. Note repeat will repeat the note in different intervals that you select here. This is actually the mode select. So pad mode will just play back the modes. Pad mode will just play back the sounds that are loaded on the pads. Chord mode will say a melodic instrument, and we can play those notes chromatically. So if I had a melodic instrument loaded up, we can play it chromatically. We can also change the scale and the root note using these buttons up the top here. Basically all these buttons up the top just sort of allocate to different sort of menus that are up here, so we can go down an octave. And semitones as well. So that will now, we've got a B flat minor scale, Beautiful. Same with chords, so we've got a chord button, so every time we trigger a pad it will play a chord. Currently it's selected to triads. Awesome. And at the end here we have a step sequencer. This is really great for just quickly entering in notes per step. It's really great for making really quick and groovy sounding drum beats. So yeah, you kind of get the idea. Up the top over here we have our track mixer, so we can see and edit all the volumes of each sound using these encoders. We also have our browser, which allows us to navigate around all of our sounds. So you can choose to load an entire group, which is a group of sounds, which will fill a whole group, usually as a drum kit. Sounds, which is just generally just one shots, and instruments. So these are the actual VSTs that are installed inside the hardware. So we've got FM8, Contact, the Maschine library, Massive, Monark, Prism, and yeah, Reactor as well. So awesome. Sampling button, so we can sample directly into the hardware via the audio interface. Monitoring will come up here after we've recorded some audio. We can edit sounds directly on the displays, change the start and end points using the encoders, which is really nice. And then we can also slice sounds up. So if you want to slice up a sample that you've taken from, say, a record, you can slice it up using the patterns. Done heaps of videos on this. If you want to check out the link in the description, I did heaps of videos on sampling, so you can check that out there. Cool, and then so obviously this big encoder, this is also featured on the Mark III, but it's just kind of has a little bit of a slightly renewed design. It's metal, it clicks as you enter it, it's multi-directional. These lights here sort of show you where you can kind of navigate to. So for instance, when I'm in the channel mixer, I can navigate from side to side. If I click down, that will give me my available mixer selection for all of the sounds in the group, and I can sort of turn it up and down to edit the volume, but I can also do it from the encoders here as well. So it's a really smooth and kind of intuitive workflow. It feels really nice. Cool, so everything's looking pretty familiar right now, but as I said before, the software and the sound samples and effects come pre-installed inside the box. So if I head to settings, navigate to my library, this shows me all of my available content that I have available to install. After your registration, when you turn the unit on, you log into your native access account, and this gives you access to Komplete 13 Select. Over here, if I scroll to installed, shows me the libraries I have already installed. So this is some expansion packs, FM8, Contact Factory Selection, Maschine Factory Library, Massive, Monark, etc. So really amazing stuff that this actually has the ability to run Contact and Reactor instruments straight from the hardware. Navigating around, this is where you can change a lot of your settings, connect to Wi-Fi, and run software updates, etc., etc. So let's load up some sounds, hit my browse button. Now this shows me all of the sounds I have currently installed. Use my encoders just like I would on the MK3. Load up a group. Allows me to audition kits. Hit load. Great. All looking pretty cool at the moment. So everything is as it's. So everything sort of seems to be sort of working exactly as I'm used to from the Maschine MK3, just minus the computer.
People walk through. Dead nights. Dead nights. People walk through. Dead nights. Dead nights. People walk through. Dead nights. Dead nights.
So this is certainly an exciting first for Native Instruments, going out and making a completely standalone device. Native Instruments have always been part of that hardware-software system. And when you think about it, it makes a lot of sense for Native Instruments to make a product like this. They already make the sound, samples, and effects, the operating system, plus the hardware. All they need to do was just bundle it together. And this is what we've got. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos to come, and we'll see you next time.